stop scrolling for 1 second, because the coin in your pocket right now, or the one buried in your grandfather's old drawer, could be worth 100 times more than its printed value. Today I'm holding a South Korean 101 coin, dated 1990, and by the end of this video you're going to know exactly why coins like this one are quietly becoming some of the most searched for items in the collector world, and how to check if yours is one of the rare ones. This isn't just a coin. This is a piece of a 500-year-old war story. The man engraved on its face is not a king, not a president, not a politician. He's a warrior who saved his entire nation with 13 broken ships against an enemy fleet of more than 300. Stick with me, because I'm going to show you his face, his story, the secret code hidden in the coin's design, and, most importantly, how much this exact coin could actually be worth today. Let's get into it. What exactly is this coin? So let's start with the basics. What you're looking at is a South Korean 101 coin, one being the official currency of South Korea, written as OIN in Korean script. On the front, or obverse, you can see a portrait of a bearded man wearing a traditional Korean war helmet, facing forward, with Korean lettering above and below him. On the back, or reverse, you'll see the number 100, a circle of small beads around the rim, and the year, in our case, 1990. Now here's something most people don't know. This design was first introduced back in 1970, and, with only very minor engraving updates, it has stayed almost the same for over 50 years. That means when you hold a 101 coin today, whether it was minted in 1970 or 2024, you are looking at one of the longest-running unchanged coin designs on the planet. Very few currencies in the world have kept a single coin design running that long without a full redesign. Physically, this coin is made of copper nickel, a durable alloy chosen for coins that get passed hand to hand for decades. It weighs 5.42 grams, has a diameter of 24 millimeters, and a reeded edge, meaning the rim has those fine vertical grooves cut into it. Those grooves aren't just decoration, by the way. Historically, reeded edges were added to coins to stop people from shaving off small slivers of precious metal. It's a security feature that stuck around purely out of tradition. But none of that, the metal, the size, the edge, is the real story here. The real story is the face on the front. Who is this man? The man staring back at you from this coin is Admiral Yi Sun-sin. And if you're not familiar with Korean history, I promise you, by the time I finish this section, you will understand why this man is on the money at all, and not just once, but on multiple denominations of Korean currency. Yi Sun-sin was born in 1545 during the Joseon dynasty. He wasn't born into a wealthy or powerful family. In fact, historical accounts describe his family as having fallen on hard times. He didn't even pass his military examination until his early 30s, which for the era was considered quite late. Nothing about his early life screamed future national hero. Then, in 1592, everything changed. Japan launched a massive invasion of Korea, a conflict historians call the Imjin War. Japanese forces swept through the Korean peninsula with terrifying speed, and it looked, for a moment, like the entire kingdom might fall. But there was one place Japan could not break through: the sea. And that sea belonged to Yi Sun-sin. Over the course of the war, Admiral Yi fought in at least 23 recorded naval battles against the Japanese fleet. And here's the almost unbelievable part. He did not lose. Instead, using his deep understanding of the region's brutal tidal currents in the Myeongnyang Strait, he lured the Japanese fleet into a narrow channel where the tides turned violently against them. He destroyed or disabled over 30 enemy warships. And he did not lose a single ship of his own. 13 against 300. 0 losses. If you ever needed proof that strategy beats numbers, this is it. His story ends the way a war epic almost writes itself. At the Battle of Myeongnyang in December 1598, in what would be the final major battle of the war, Yi Sun-sin was struck by a stray bullet. Knowing the battle was still raging and that his death could break his men's morale, his final order was reportedly to keep beating the war drums and not announce that he had fallen, so that his soldiers would fight on believing their commander was still alive. That is the man on this coin. Not a king who inherited power. A man who, with almost nothing left, saved his entire country from the sea. Reading the design like a collector. Let's slow down and actually read this coin the way a numismatist, a coin expert, would. On the obverse, alongside Admiral Yi's portrait, you'll notice Korean characters. These spell out Fagun, meaning 101, and below that, Pyongyang, meaning Bank of Korea, the coin's issuing authority. This tells you instantly this coin is official state-issued currency, not a private token or metal. Flip to the reverse, and you'll see the numeral 100 prominently displayed, with the mint year, 1990, in our example, positioned above it. Surrounding the whole design is a rim of small raised dots, called a denticled or beaded border, a classic security and design feature used on coins worldwide to make counterfeiting harder and give the coin a finished, symmetrical look. Here's a detail true collectors look for. Over the decades, the Korea Minting and Security Printing Corporation has used slightly different engraving dies for this coin. Some early dies have smaller, more centered details. Later dies show the admiral's portrait slightly larger and pushed toward the coin's edge, sometimes with a bolder, thicker font for the 100 on the reverse. These aren't official varieties most people know about, but among serious Korean coin collectors, die variations like this can actually affect a coin's collector interest and, in rare cases, its value. And this is exactly why the year matters so much. A coin from the coin's earliest run, 1970 to 1982, is considered the first type of this design, catalogued by collectors under the reference number KM9. Coins from 1983 onward, including our 1990 example, fall under a later catalog type, KM35, reflecting subtle engraving refinements made to the dies. If you ever see this coin listed for sale or in a price guide, that KM number is your quickest way to identify exactly which version you're holding. Is this coin actually valuable? Okay, the question you've probably been waiting for. Is this coin worth anything? Let's be honest with you, because that's what separates a good coin channel from a clickbait one. The vast majority of 1990 South Korean 101 coins are common. They circulated by the millions, they're not made of precious metal, and in worn, average condition. Most of them are worth close to their face value, roughly equivalent to a few cents in most currencies, sometimes traded in small collector lots for pennies each online. But, and this is a real but, value in coin collecting almost never comes from the coin itself. It comes from condition and rarity within that specific year. Here's what actually pushes value up on a coin like this. First, condition. A coin in uncirculated or near mint condition, meaning it shows no wear from handling, with sharp, crisp details still visible on Admiral Yi's face and helmet, can be worth significantly more than a worn, scratched example that's been jingling around in pockets for 35 years. Collectors grade coins on a scale, and even moving up just 1 or 2 grade levels can multiply a coin's value. Second, mint errors. Off-center strikes, doubled lettering, or coins struck on the wrong metal blank are the holy grail for any collector, and these can turn an ordinary common year coin into something genuinely valuable, sometimes selling for many times face value, depending on how dramatic and verifiable the error is. Third, and this is specific to this exact coin, low mintage years. Not every year of South Korea's 101 coin was produced in the same quantity. Some years had far smaller production runs than others, simply based on how much currency the country needed circulating that year. A lower mintage year, especially in higher condition, tends to attract stronger collector demand, which is exactly why, before you assume any coin is just spare change, it's worth checking the specific year against a mintage figures table or a numismatic reference site. So, is your 1990 101 coin going to make you rich? Realistically, probably not. But that's not really the point, and here's why. Why collectors still want this coin. Even coins that aren't valuable in a dollar sense are still deeply desired by collectors around the world, and this particular coin is a perfect example of why. Think about what you're actually holding. It's a piece of everyday Korean currency that has carried the face of a national hero, unchanged, for over 5 decades. It's a small, physical connection to one of the most remarkable underdog military victories in recorded history, 13 ships against 300. For history collectors, war history enthusiasts, and Korea-focused collectors specifically, that story alone makes this coin worth seeking out, regardless of its market price. There's also a growing global interest in Korean numismatics tied to the rise of Korean culture worldwide. K-dramas, films, and history documentaries have introduced millions of new people to figures like Yi Sun-sin who had never heard the name before. Every time interest in Korean history spikes, interest in Korean coins featuring Yi Sun-sin tends to spike right along with it. And here's a small tip if you're building a collection. Instead of chasing just one 101 coin, some collectors build what's called a year set or date run, collecting one coin from every year of production, from 1970 all the way to today. How to check your own coin. So if you've got a jar of old coins somewhere, or a 101 coin like this one sitting in a drawer, here's your quick action plan. Step 1. Find the year on the reverse side, right above the 100. Step 2. Check the coin's condition. Are the details on Admiral Yi's face sharp and clear, or worn smooth? Step 3. Look closely for anything unusual, doubled letters, an off-center design, or strange discoloration. These can be signs of a mint error. Step 4. Search that specific year alongside its catalog reference, either KM9 for coins from 1970 to 1982, or KM35 for coins from 1983 onward, on a numismatic reference site to compare current collector interest and typical prices for that year and condition. That's it. For simple steps, and in a few minutes you'll know a lot more about what you're actually holding. So there it is, a coin that looks like ordinary pocket change, but is actually carrying the face of a man who saved an entire nation with 13 broken ships. Next time this coin passes through your hands, you won't just see a number and a date. You'll see the story of Admiral Yi Sun-sin. If you enjoyed learning the story behind this coin, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this channel is just getting started uncovering the hidden history behind the coins in your pocket. And drop a comment below telling me what year your 101 coin is. I read every single one, and I might feature your coin in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.